What made people think that Chris Pratt supports the current president? What did his wife say about the backlash? And what past controversies about the actor seemingly prove the claims that he's Hollywood's worst Chris? Hi, I'm Dylan. Let's find out. Why the internet suddenly hates Chris? Recently, Chris Pratt became a hot topic of discussion on social media. And unfortunately, it didn't happen because he and his wife Katherine Schwarzenegger recently welcomed a baby girl, or because a new blockbuster of his came out. Twitter users have seen an enormous backlash, and many even called Pratt Hollywood's worst Chris compared to 3 other major actors with the same name: Chris Hemsworth, Chris Pine, and Chris Evans. If he's always been your favorite Chris and you love him for his sense of humor, acting talent, and good looks, you probably want to know what caused it all. Well, the reason for the backlash is quite simple and, at the same time, extremely complicated. The thing is, a rumor appeared that the Guardians of the Galaxy star is a Trump supporter. Now let me tell you what made this whole thing go so viral that Twitter is even trying to cancel Chris Pratt. On the 20th of October, the Avengers directors Joe and Anthony Russo held a fundraiser supporting the Democratic candidate, Joe Biden. A few of the Avengers stars participated in the virtual meeting called Voters Assemble, but Pratt wasn't there. Given that he has never explicitly stated his political views, like Chris Evans, for example, who's actively speaking up against the current president, it made people think that his absence in the fundraiser event means that Pratt is pro-Trump. Some even did a bit of research and found out that the actor follows the likes of Republican politicians and a few right-wing commentators on social media. Oh, and one more thing. A couple of weeks ago, Pratt made quite a controversial post. In the wake of many of his colleagues encouraging people to vote in this year's presidential election, he called everyone to vote for Onward, an animated movie where he voiced the main character. The upcoming 2020 People's Choice Awards is the most consequential vote in the history of mankind times a million infinity, the Parks and Rec actor captioned his post. Of course, it was probably just a joke to attract people's attention and mock some of his fellow celebrities, but many fans thought that it was very ill-timed. After all, the election is less than a month away, and celebs shouldn't use the hashtag vote just to advertise a cartoon. Does this seem like good enough proof for you? Well, for Twitter users, it is. You see, it looks like most of the tweets are coming from people who are just saying things like, "Boo-hoo, Pratt is a MAGA supporter," although many of them don't back up their words with any evidence. And in the meantime, the people who don't only know Pratt as a successful actor but also have a personal relationship with him are speaking up for the actor. Let's see what they're saying. Marvel colleagues defend Chris. Obviously shocked by the backlash, Robert Downey Jr. wrote on Instagram, "What a world. The sinless are casting stones at my brother, Chris Pratt. A real Christian who lives by principle, has never demonstrated anything but positivity and gratitude." The Iron Man actor added a piece of advice to the evil commenters, recommending them to first work on their own defects and only then judge others. Pratt's Guardians of the Galaxy colleague Zoe Saldana quoted Tupac to support her friend. "No matter how hard it gets, stick your chest out, keep your head up, and handle it," she wrote on Twitter, and reminded Chris that his family, friends, and those who have crossed paths with him know his heart. Mark Ruffalo also made a Twitter post, reminding everyone that Pratt is a good man. "I know him personally, and instead of creating aspersions, look at how he lives his life. He's not just overtly political as a rule," the Hulk actor wrote. The next one to speak up for Chris was James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. He claimed that all the rumors are pure nonsense and asked everyone to stop assuming what he believes, politically or in any other way, because he's a Christian. And of course, Pratt's wife, Katherine Schwarzenegger, also couldn't just stand aside while the internet slammed her husband and father of her child. In an E! News post asking people which Hollywood's Chris is the best, she commented, "There's so much going on in the world and people struggling in so many ways. Being mean is so yesterday." And she went on to remind everyone that love is what we need, and it should finally replace meanness and bullying. Well, she's totally right. But still, is Chris really that good of a guy? After all, this is not the first time he's faced backlash. Let's see what made people dislike him in the past. T-shirts and churches, all previous controversies. Sure, Chris is no angel, and people can always dig up things to hate him for. He got divorced from actress Anna Faris, who he had a son with, and according to a rumor, it happened because he cheated on her. The allegations were never confirmed, but there was one other thing to dislike him for: his love for hunting and fishing that made a lot of fans, especially vegetarians and vegans, furious. A year ago, things got worse. Chris was spotted wearing a "Don't Tread on Me" t-shirt with the version of the American flag known as the Gadsden flag. Let's look into the history. At first, this flag represented the American Revolution and freedom from British rule. Later, it became a symbol of American patriotism, but now it has ties with white supremacy and far-right political groups. After seeing Pratt wearing a t-shirt featuring this flag, the internet exploded with mean posts about him being racist. Chris never commented on the backlash, and it's still unclear what meaning he saw behind the symbol: freedom, patriotism, or racism. But that's not all, because last year, he faced another wave of backlash because of the church he attends. As the Umbrella Academy star Ellen Page mentioned in her tweet, his church was anti-gay. This statement was followed by tons of comments from furious fans, now wondering if Chris was anti-gay too. Pratt responded to the criticism back then, saying that his church has always been very supportive of him, even during his divorce from Anna Faris, despite what Christianity says about divorce. They helped me tremendously, offering love and support. It is what I have seen them do for others on countless occasions, regardless of sexual orientation, race, or gender, the actor commented. And he also added, "No church defines me or my life, and I am not spokesman for any church or any group of people." Well, that's a good answer. And now, since we should be critical thinkers and avoid blindly believing what people write on the internet, let's take a look at another side of the argument to finally understand. Is Chris actually MAGA? Chris himself has been quiet on the issue. And still, just as we have already seen all the allegations that he's pro-Trump, anti-gay, racist, or whatever else, we can also gather heaps of evidence that he's not. First of all, Pratt has always been open about his faith, so we definitely shouldn't slam him for going to church. Secondly, CNN reports that he donated money to Barack Obama's campaign during the 2012 presidential election. What Republican supporter would do that, huh? Besides, even though Pratt is connected to a few right-wing people on Twitter and Instagram, he also follows famously left-leaning celebrities, such as Stephen Colbert and Conan O'Brien, among many others. You might think it's weird to follow both sides of the national argument that currently seems to be at its peak in the United States. But in fact, it's totally in keeping with what Chris says about his political views. 3 years ago, in an interview with Men's Fitness, he shared that he's not a Democrat and neither is he a Republican. I really feel there's common ground out there that's missed because we focus on the things that separate us. You're either the red state or the blue state, the left or the right. Not everything is politics. And maybe that's something I'd want to help bridge, because I don't feel represented by either side, the Guardians of the Galaxy actor explained. That's actually a great point. And finally, we can name one very good point in favor of Chris that probably proves that, at least, he's not a Trump supporter. Remember who his wife is? It's Katherine Schwarzenegger, who openly supports the Democratic candidate and criticizes the current president for downplaying the pandemic. And what's even more, she's the daughter of actor, bodybuilder, and California's ex-governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger, who is very active in his statements against the president despite being a Republican himself. In fact, the 2016 election was the first time Arnie didn't vote for a Republican candidate. Do you really think that Chris would feel safe supporting Trump with the Terminator being his father-in-law? But to know exactly whether Pratt is a MAGA supporter or not, we'd have to wait for him to comment on the issue personally. And what do you think about the controversy Chris is facing? Do you believe it, or do you think it's all complete nonsense? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay awesome. Thanks for watching.